Evan, I mean every word I'm about to say. I watched Republicans steal a Supreme Court seat from President Obama. I watched them pack the Supreme Court with 3 of Trump's radical justices. I watched those justices take an apocalyptic vote to decimate Roe v. Wade. Now I'm going to make them regret it by kicking every last anti-choice Republican out of office for what they've done. If Republicans think we're going to sit back and let them rip reproductive rights away from millions without consequence, I'm going to prove them dead wrong. I only need one more gift from 50320 before tonight's end-of-week deadline to have one of the biggest Democratic fundraising hauls in history. Flatten Republicans in this election and make them rue the day they ever came after our country's women. There is no turning back from this, Evan. I cannot overstate how badly I need your $15 in this moment to save women's constitutional rights for generations to come. Will you step up? You can chip in more than 15. This is thank you, Nancy. I forgot that part. It's my friend Nancy.
The Pelosi ones go so hard, and she took a different tact every single day since the decision. It's shock. Now she's in a fighting mood.
Yeah, I love the ones where it's like you need 5 gifts from your zip code. Like it matters. You just want my money.
Yeah. Yeah, that one part you read was so revealing. What a travesty. This could be the biggest Democratic fundraising haul of all time.
They sure didn't act like it when they had their Supreme Court seat stolen. You know? I don't remember. They assumed they were going to win the election, I think, which is kind of the thing, isn't it? With Ruth and replacing, like, what, it was going to be Merrick Garland anyway, so, like, he's kind of not in the good graces of liberal Democrats anymore. Yeah. After the January 6th stuff, because he's not going to prosecute any of it. Yeah. Even though it keeps getting worse.
Yellow triangle with exclamation point. Roe v. Wade. Arrow pointing right. All caps. Overturned. Yellow arrow with exclamation point. The GOP celebrates today as the Supreme Court votes to overturn the 1973 Roe v. Wade decision. This is an outright attack on women's rights. Rush in $19.73 today to help me fight back in Congress. Team, today is tragic for women. As this decision goes into effect, dozen of trigger law states around the country close their doors on access to health care and reproductive rights immediately. The rest of our nation is to follow. Rush in $19.73 to stand with me as I continue to fight against this wholeheartedly.
Was this written by a machine?
Your friend in the fight, Cindy Axney.
It also says if you saved your payment information with ActBlue Express, your donation will go through immediately.
Well, it's just convenient. I'm glad that they're looking out for our convenience in this, challenging time. Anything really helps, honestly. I like how the call to action buttons say rush in 1973, which of course, as we all know, is the year that Roe was decided.
I would rather rush in 2112. You get me?
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a lot cooler, wouldn't it?
Do you think that's a secret signal to Putin? Russian?
Oh.
1973?
Oh, man.
Cindy Axney comes out against Ukraine.
All caps, red font. Breaking! Donald Trump endorses Kim Reynolds for re-election. Stella. This endorsement couldn't come at a worse time! Exclamation point. The floodgates are wide open, capitalized, for Trump's MAGA network to try and buy the governor's seat. They already have it, though. They already have the seat. We refuse to let them. We need 5,000 grassroots donors to chip in $3 to help us fight back.
That's $15,000 when all is said and done.
Little goes a long way. Yeah, it all adds up. Let's defeat MAGA extremism together. Chip in $3 to Democrat Deidre DeGear. I just want to note, as someone who has created email marketing campaigns in the past, that this CTA does not follow best practices. It is 3 lines long. It should be a lot shorter.
Oh, call to action. That's what CTA is. Okay.
Yes, it looks like shit.
Teach them.
I mean, the Democrats have a deep bench if they just take us off the bench. You know what I mean? She goes on to say, what we've always known has just been confirmed, Stella. Kim Reynolds continues to stand by Trump in hopes it will lead her to another political victory. That part was in bold text. This next part is italicized. Donald Trump might think he knows best, but here in Iowa, we get to work. We support each other, and we figure out solutions that work for everyone. The last thing Iowa needs is another 4 years of Kim Reynolds using our state as a stage to spread Trump's extremist agenda. This next part is highlighted. Stella, our campaign is community-focused and people-grown. What the fuck does that mean?
People grown, as opposed to grown in a lab.
Not one of those test tube campaigns.
Yeah, it's not like the Impossible Burger.
Yeah. This is a farm human to table campaign.
This is an artisanal heritage seed campaign, baby. But Deidre can't win without grassroots funding from folks like you, Stella. This next part is either a link or, it's in blue and underlined. We don't need out-of-touch politicians. We need real, community-focused leaders. As a fellow Iowan, will you chip $3 to Deidre's campaign today and fight back against Trump and Reynolds? Goal.
Chip.
Chip. Okay, and then we go asterisk, asterisk, goal. 5,000 grassroots supporters. Asterisk, asterisk.
Yeah. This one was all over the place aesthetically.
Yeah.
The formatting is bonkers.
really something.
Like, they're trying to draw your eyeball to everything, and it just turns in, like, it's way... who is writing this? Who is formatting these emails?
And who is responding to them?
I mean, they gotta be working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They gotta be working.
I guess.
Hopefully 5,000 people chipped $3.
I mean, you'd think that a more personal appeal might be a little bit better way to go for such a personal topic, but...
Well, this one I think came out before the Roe
did it?
Yeah, the ones Stella sent me were kind of earlier this month.
Oh, true. Yeah, I guess it isn't. Either way, yeah, it's just not personalized at all.
Well,
It's
hold on.
like-
It says Stella 4 times.
Oh, right. I don't know. Just talk to people like they're fucking humans instead of pay pigs. I have one from moveon.org,
Oh, boy.
which is everyone's favorite. Will you print out and display this sign to show your support for Roe and abortion rights? Days after a Supreme Court decision that overturned Roe, abortion rights are all everyone's talking about. Friends, political leaders, journalists, and more. It's crucial to make sure that continues. Abortion rights are on the ballot this November, and we can't let anyone forget it. Here's one immediate way you can help out. Print out these signs, or make your own, to hang in your window, distribute to your local community, and proudly show that we're going to fight, vote, and win for abortion rights, or win abortion rights in our communities and on the national stage. Now, the signs are... Declare independence from the GOP. Vote November 8th, 2022. Row, row, row the vote. November 8th, 2022. Our bodies, our vote. Overturn the GOP. Vote November 8th, 2022.
Oh, yeah. That famous declaration. Our bodies, our vote.
Yeah. Yep. That's what they were chanting. Whether you bring these to your local 4th of July events, hold them outside your local Republican campaign offices to send a message, hang them on the community bulletin boards and in shops and cafes, or proudly display them at your home or workplace or on your car or bicycle, you'll be helping create a national visual display of what's at stake this November. And it really will make a difference for folks from all walks of life to see these signs and these messages. And then they ask for $5 a month.
Have you seen any of those signs?
I have not seen any of those signs. I do
haven't
like
seen
the
any.
suggestion to make your own, because I think our group could come up with some better ones.
Row, row, row your vote's pretty good, though.
Yeah, it's pretty clever.
I'm guessing abort the court didn't make the final cut for this official list of signage for the party.
I do have a neighbor like a block that way who made like a big homemade sign that just says abort SCOTUS in their yard, which is pretty cool. They should have put some blood on it, but it's a cool message.
With like those tiny little plastic models of fetuses like hanging from it. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
What if you like made a sign that said like cut off head, and then you were like, Nancy Pelosi told me to.
Yeah. MoveOn.org told me I could do this.
Yeah. I also could not picture these signs as anything other than like the very standard printer size, like one piece of computer paper printed off. And
let's see.
8.5 by 11.
Exactly.
They all say
there's like streaks in it because your ink is running out.
they all say "move on" very prominently. Of course.
That is a bad. I know that's the name of the pack or whatever, but that is a terrible message. Just like right now for the overturning of Roe v. Wade. Move on.
Move on for Bernie.
Move on.
Yeah, I forgot I had this. I think I got it when I was in Minnesota in 2016. I found that the other day.
That's cool.
Yeah, it would be nice if the Democrats moved on from their current leaders and, replace them with people who actually are going to like fight for these things instead of spamming your email box with this bullshit.
I think Move On started during Bush, right?
Yeah, I believe so. They've been around for a while, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think they're quite as prominent now, but it also, they're talking a lot about a 52-seat Senate majority. They're asking people to vote so they can expand the Democratic majority in the Senate by 2 votes. 2 who are committed to taking bold action to make progress. We can end the filibuster, pass the Women's Health Protection Act, and immediately codify the protections of Roe into law. We won't stop there. A 52-seat majority of bold, committed Democrats will let the Senate act on a range of issues, including real accountability and reforms for the corrupt right-wing justices in the illegitimate Supreme Court. Anyway, I just think it's funny how they increase. It's always like current number of seats plus 2. I mean,
Plus
obviously,
2.
it's because it's like Senate. It's because of Manchin and Sinema or whatever. I'm sure that's why they're specifically asking for 2. But it's like you already have a majority.
Weren't there like the exact same numbers in? I remember when Trump was president, like, weren't there votes that came down to like a 50-50 split, and then Pence
Pence
had to
was
make
a tiebreaker. Yeah.
So like think
for some
about
of those.
the horrific shit that the Trump administration was able to get done with the same numbers. Like why?
Yeah. Or just like looking at like, was banning abortion ever a popular national policy? No. Like a committed minority can do things that are unpopular if they have people who are committed to making it happen. Like
right.
The vote stuff, it's just like, if anything, this should show you that like a committed leftist party could do things with the power that they have without having to. I mean, again, it's just a constant never anything where they're always going to need more votes to do whatever because they're never going to actually discipline the people, or like, the big tent bullshit is going to weigh out any like ideological
There's so
concerns.
much. That's the hardest part, is like there's so much they could do. Like when the Supreme Court challenged FDR's policies during the Depression, he was like, okay, bitch, I'll get a bunch more Supreme Court justices on the court and dilute your power. And they fell in line, and he never had a problem with them. Like,
you say FDR?
Yeah.
That reminds me, wasn't Biden supposed to be the next FDR? Didn't I read that in like millions of headlines?
I do recall that for a few months right after the inauguration.
Yeah, maybe they meant
not a lot since then, though.
In decrepitude, perhaps. Sorry, FDR.
He will end this term in a wheelchair.
Oh my God. Or like do anything to fucking Manchin and Cinema to like
Yeah.
do something to them.
Take
You
their
know,
seats, their Senate committee
their
seats
power.
away.
Yeah.
Threaten to sponsor their primary challenger. Like, there's a million things they could do. Just kick them out. Like, why do we need them in our party if they're not gonna like?
100%.
At a certain point, they don't want to enforce any sort of ideological. Oh, that's a litmus test or whatever the fuck bullshit they're gonna say. But it's the thing that annoys me about the Manchin Cinema stuff is there's like, I'm sure like at least like half a dozen other like swing state moderate Democrats who are cheering them on privately because they don't want to stick their neck out and have to support policies that are going to be repeated in attack ads from Republicans for the next months and months.
Yeah. I mean, Pelosi campaigning for an anti-choice Democrat in the months before the Roe v. Wade
Texas
decision. And the fucking Biden administration and all the Democrats had a 2-month lead time. They knew this decision was coming. What the fuck did they do about it? You know?
I know. That's what's so fucking crazy.
Honestly, we did more about it than they did, just by releasing one podcast about it.
Yeah, it's not our fault. We did everything we
did
could.
our job. Justin, I need your immediate attention. Trump's Supreme Court just ruled to rip reproductive rights away from every single woman in this country. That's some good alliteration. Ruled to rip reproductive rights.
Nice.
I don't say this lightly, Justin. How we act today will decide the future of reproductive rights. We can either sit back and admit defeat to these far-right extremists, or we can rise up, meet this once-in-a-generation moment, and marshal a response so historic that we make every last anti-choice Republican regret what they've done. Please, Justin, I've never needed your support more than today. Can you chip in $15 so we can win these midterms and finally codify reproductive rights into law? Justin, this isn't a normal fundraising email.
Oh, really?
And a normal response won't suffice. Tomorrow morning, Republican operatives will look at our results from this email to see whether strong Democrats like you are fired up. If we post the same run-of-the-mill numbers, McConnell and McCarthy will think they can get away with anything.
Oh, God,
Oh
they
my
sent
God.
the email. Oh, God, the email.
So, Justin, I'm asking you to step up in this moment of crisis. Our only option is to marshal a response so historic, 100,000 gifts before midnight, that we defeat every anti-choice Republican that made this happen, expand our majorities, and finally codify our reproductive rights into law. So, Justin, can I expect to see your name on my, quote, pro-choice champion list tomorrow morning? I know you're livid, Justin. We both are. But in times of crisis, our only response can be to stand up and fight for what's right. Thank you for fighting with me on the right side of history, Nancy. This was Nancy Pelosi emailing me from the address info@cindyaxneyforcongress.com.
I like the idea that they're going to make the Republicans regret doing what they've like planned to do for fucking decades. Come on.
Yeah.
If you chip in $15, they will feel bad about what they've done.
I'm sure that's true. I'm sure.
I love the phrasing, finally codify our reproductive rights into law from Nancy fucking Pelosi. How many chances have you had to do this?
She of all people. so fucking infuriating. I really want to read the next one.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, number 4. So, Evan, do you want to read the Cindy Axie one?
No, you go. I have one after that. That isn't on the list.
I'm going to do them a little out of order, Justin, if that's okay. So
I just threw them up here.
This is from the Iowa Democrats. And the subject line of this email is, I see why am I? So, in case you missed it, everything is fine. Upside down smiley face.
Oh, they're just so quirky.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Which
the little
intern
dog
wrote that?
in the house on fire.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fluent in sarcasm. I'm a Democrat. I'm a liberal. I love my dogs. And I support Cindy Axne.
I'm going to wear my Ray Gun shirt when I go vote tomorrow. This email says, last week was not good.
Oh.
Well, if you need help finding abortion care, want to get involved in the fight for reproductive rights, or learn about how the Dobbs decision will affect access in Iowa, here's some resources we've put together. So, resources, not bad. They did include Iowa Abortion Access Fund, but God, fucking read the room. I'm sorry. I'm not ready to be fucking flip about this quite yet.
Yeah. Surprised there's not any GIFs in this email. Jim Halpert turns to the camera. Roe v. Wade was overturned. Tug's collar.
I can see that. I can imagine it, and it's not good. I have one that's not specifically about Roe v. Wade, but it is about a prominent a woman in the Democratic Party. Breaking. New rankings show that the Rachel Maddow Show is the most watched cable news program among Democrats, but we still have no record of whether you tune in. Do you watch the Rachel Maddow Show? Yes. No. Team, this is a huge win for Rachel Maddow. In recently released rankings, the Rachel Maddow Show averaged nearly 1 million Democratic viewers per episode. That's a larger audience share than all of Fox News' controversial primetime pundits like Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity, and Laura Ingraham. But we've dug through our records and we couldn't track down whether you are one of the Maddow Show's millions of viewers. Please lock in your response tonight so we have your corrected information on file. Answer, missing or outdated. Do you watch the Rachel Maddow Show? Yes, no. And then it's got an asterisk. If you've recently responded or done so with a different email address, thank you. Online records may not be up to date, but don't worry. Your responses have been recorded.
Yeah, in case someone came to your door and asked you this, it may not have been reflected in the records yet. Who sent you that?
Norman
this
Nielsen
is from
Group.
the Democratic DSCC, which is like the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee. Right. They have a lot of really funny ones that are like, do you still approve of Barack Obama? Yes or no? Or then
approve
like,
of what?
Yeah, I know. And then if you click, I tried, there was one I got that was like, do you approve of Biden? Yes or no? And I click no. And then it just doesn't register that at all. It's like, what are the reasons that you approve of Joe Biden? And then it's like a list of all these different different things. It doesn't matter.
It's a lot like those Trump emails that would go out like, how much do you love President Trump? A lot or a very lot?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? Okay, so we're 3 years in the future. The United States government has been overthrown by fascists, and they're deciding who to send to the camps first. And they pull out the list of the people who say they watch, who elected to say that they watch Rachel Maddow.
Yeah. I love how that it starts out like the most watched cable news program among Democrats.
Oh my God.
Also, the subject line is R.E. Maddow's show on MSNBC.
So they're just replying to your email asking, am I registered?
Like, I sent them an email saying, have you registered my support of the Rachel Maddow program on MSNBC? I need to make sure that I'm being counted.
Your vote counts, Evan.
My vote, my choice.
Yeah.
Your voice doesn't matter, but your consumption of a television program matters.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. That's the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. So funny.
It's very important.
I get so many emails. I think it started because I got a text message from a Democrat like a couple years ago, and they're like, just wondering if you'd like to opt in from communications from us or whatever. And I was like, I guess. And then they're like, all right, you're added. And I don't know. I mean, I know they sell the email lists back and forth, so I get like so many for Val Demings, Fetterman, like all of the swing state ones that they're trying to get all the outside money for. Sherry Beasley, Tim Ryan, like it's all the same fucking names. Like I literally get like 3 a day from Val Demings. It's crazy.
So the last two from Cindy Axney that I read came out on the 24th, the day that the decision came out. And this next one is from Monday, June 27th. So we'll see if she's still keeping on message with the abortion rights thing, or if she has moved on very quickly to something else.
We'll see.
Wink, wink. Hello, Justin. I hope you are doing well. This is 3 days after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. I hope you are doing well. I am excited to invite you to an upcoming Rally for Our Democracy on Saturday, June 9th. Again, this email was sent to me on June 27th. Saturday, June 9th at 6 p.m. at Fox Brewing in West Des Moines, Iowa, with special guest, Congressman Adam Schiff.
Oh, man. I love that guy. He's so cool.
I'd be so grateful if you could join us. And so it's actually July 9th, if folks listening want to attend. Fox Brewing, 6 p.m. Contribution levels. So here's the minimum amount of money you can pay to go to this. $50 as a guest.
Yeah, don't you guys have to pay $50 whenever you're a guest at when you go to your friend's party?
I like to chip $50.
Yeah. With a golf club, you get your golf golf clubs out and you chip you chip them a stack of bills.
Yeah, $3 folded up on the tee.
Oh, you don't use the tee if you're chipping.
True, that's right. Yeah, just drop it on the ground. And then the tiers go all the way up to $2,900. So if you're so inclined, you could max out donations to go to this rally for Cindy Axney and Adam Schiff.
Oh my God.
No mention of abortion rights in that email.
This one was scheduled way in advance. They had this one
for sure.
in the cannon ready to fire, and then Roe v. Wade happened.
I got a similar invite to Zach Wall's birthday party. Minimum of $30, I believe, to attend.
It's his 30th birthday, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Oh, it's July 31st, so you can still go. Yeah, guest $31, supporter $100, partner $500, host $1,000, champion $2,500. Oh, it's his 31st. That's hilarious. He's younger than us, or at least me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's younger than me.
Okay,
not a lot younger, but yeah, younger.
Okay.
Well, since you brought him up, I did want to talk about this on the show a little bit. His Abraham Lincoln tweet. Was this yesterday? I'm calling an audible. I didn't have this in my notes.
It was
it was
over the last couple days.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 days ago. Zach Walz, who is the Iowa Senate minority leader. He is like the ranking Democrat in the state of Iowa. He runs unopposed. He's I live in his district. He doesn't run against Republicans at all. But he's, about 30 years old. He's basically the leader of the party in Iowa. He tweeted this 2 days ago, July 2nd, that he tweeted this. And we're in the midst of, the Supreme Court going buck wild, doing all of the conservative fantasies.
Scromiting everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, anti-trans stuff going crazy all over the country, too. He tweeted this. Quote, "We are not enemies, but friends. We must not be enemies. Though passion may have strained, it must not break our bonds of affection. The mystic chords of memory will swell when again touched, as surely they will be by the better angels of our nature." This was Abraham Lincoln who said this.
Whatever happened to that guy?
Yeah. We've been waiting on those better angels for a long time.
Yeah.
For anyone who maybe is not familiar with that quote, that is from Abraham Lincoln's first inaugural address. So he was saying these things as multiple states had already seceded from the Union, and the official start of the American Civil War was about 2 months away.
I'm surprised Zach didn't decide to post his less famous quote, "If I could keep the Union together without freeing a single slave, I would do it." Similar spirit, I would say.
Yeah. It's just like, do you have no self-awareness about what you are posting? Like the context of that quote? Like, do you think you are in the same kind of moment that Abraham Lincoln was in? And do you think that saying these words in that situation had any positive impact? Or
When they go low, baby.
Yeah. The first shots were fired 2 months after that for the Civil War. So, hey, maybe we have something to look forward to there. And also, the man who said that was shot in the head about 4 years after that.
Yes.
Shot and killed by one of those people he was saying were his friends.
But was he shot by an enemy or was he shot by a friend?
So thankfully, people roasted Zach for this abominable take. I mean, people are, I think you said, Justin, and I don't see one either, a single comment in support of this kind of message right now.
Yeah, it kind of goes against the email fundraising stuff, right? It's the same with like the Pelosi stuff where the emails are so strident, but then she's still out there saying like I remember the good Republican Party and like all this stuff about bipartisanship, and it's still
I do too.
It's crazy the gap in the rhetoric.
Yeah, while Axne is sending these emails that are like everything hangs in the balance on your $15, she's also got like Representative Jayapal tweeting like, "We need Cindy Axne, our greatest bipartisan congresswoman, to stay in office." Why are you talking about bipartisanship? You just said like we're all gonna die because of the opposition.
It is funny that Jayapal is campaigning. I mean, I guess they campaign for everyone because whatever, they're all fucking Democrats. But Axne is definitely one of the most conservative Democrats in
like
Congress. Like
the leader of the Progressive Caucus is saying explicitly, like, "I love Cindy Axne because she's so bipartisan." Like, what is your purpose? What's your role in Congress?
Well, the Republicans are like their coworkers. Like they want to get along with their coworkers. They don't see them as adversaries. They see them as like their colleagues, 100%.
Yeah. Well, that's because they're all representatives of capital and not ordinary people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to quickly read friend of the pod, Taylor's response to Zach's tweet, just because it'll be like cathartic to read it.
Yeah, Taylor got pissed.
Yeah. Oh, I fucking love when she goes off like this. Your voters do not want bipartisanship when the other party is trying to kill everyone. What the fuck is wrong with you that you can't even pretend to get that? And after you and Andy shot your mouths off about taking donations to fight the GOP on abortion, fuck you! As always, well said, Taylor.
Yeah. Well, this is one that Natalie submitted. She's feeling under the weather, so she can't join us right now. But this is one that she sent us. This is from Nancy Pelosi direct. The subject line is, "I don't know what to say." I asked you Monday. I asked you Tuesday. I asked you Wednesday. I asked you Thursday. I'm truly sorry to ask you again today. But my team just informed me we failed to meet yesterday's first end of quarter deadline since the Supreme Court's ruling. I won't sugarcoat this. If I don't reach 1,387 more gifts before midnight to close the budget gap, it will be the single most devastating setback for Democrats' chances of winning this election and protecting women's reproductive freedoms nationwide. If you've been waiting for a moment to step up with $15, this is it. Can I count on you? I just received an emergency phone call that made my heart drop.
Honestly, I hope that's like an arrhythmia.
Yeah, that's literally. I was like, is Nancy still fit to serve?
I hope your heart drops right out your asshole.
Oh my god. I asked you Monday. I asked you Tuesday. I asked you Wednesday. I asked you Thursday.
I think the fact that they call it gifts makes it even
Yeah,
more
yeah.
like manipulative. It's like you're asking for money. Like again, like it's the passive aggressive thing that's just like
Yeah.
so off-putting.
And it doesn't sound optional the way
No,
you
yeah.
phrase these
Don't
emails.
call it a gift. This is you're extorting money from me.
Yes.
You're doing everything short of that.
Yeah.
You're taking advantage of my emotions. And yeah, it's totally manipulative. So fucked.
Yeah, I hate the way they use the word gifts also. It's like, where's my present?
I would also like to see the. I mean, obviously the numbers that they add to those are just like totally made up. If I need,
Yeah.
1,387 more gifts. Give me a break.
They chose a very specific number, so it seems real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be funny if that was, you know how they insert your name in each of those? It'd be funny if that number was also like randomly generated for each recipient.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. I get ones now that are addressed to like Jones. So they're
Dear Jones.
Dear Jones. Yeah.
I noticed on some of the ones that you got, Justin is not capitalized. So
Yeah.
sloppy.
Yeah. I must have been signed up for one of these lists with my name all lowercase. Mm-hmm. I don't know how I got on any of these lists, by the way.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably participating in a caucus at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Or just like if you've ever donated anything through Act Blue.
Bernie probably betrayed me and gave them my email address.
Well, you had to register as a Democrat at one point, right? So they have access.
Yeah.
The parties have access to all that information, and
They
it's so easy to get your
Sell
email
it
address.
back and forth.
100%.
I do get the Our Revolution ones, which are, the Bernie remnant group or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're
I think I
definitely
unsubscribed from those because
better.
it was too depressing.
They're depressing. They're actually way more depressing than the other ones, but they're a little more grounded in reality. Basically talking, I mean, like most of theirs are about like how Democrats have failed us.
Yeah.
So I can see why you'd unsubscribe, but they're at least a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit more sober.
I'm on some list called Pack to the Future.
Yeah.
Oh man.
This one's not Roe v. Wade. It came out a few days, I think, before the decision. But I just thought it was really funny. This one is again from the pen of Pelosi, the noodle of Nancy.
Do you think she really writes all these?
She's prolific, if so.
They use her name on so many lists.
Yeah. I mean, the style is so similar across all of them. I don't think it gives us any clue to like Nancy's writing style or anything. Nancy writes, or the person ghostwriting for her, my jaw just dropped. NPR just declared the unthinkable. Republicans are poised to lose 5 Senate seats. Ron Johnson is in danger of losing his seat in Wisconsin. Marco Rubio is in danger of losing his seat in Florida. And Republicans are in danger of losing 3 open Senate seats in North Carolina, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Mark my words, Stella. This is our once-in-a-lifetime shot to flip these 5 Senate seats, clinch control of the Senate, and ensure... Gotta rush in and clinch this one, babe. And ensure that Mitch McConnell never rises to power again. But only, this can only happen if we step up our fundraising efforts this instant to outrace McConnell and dash his hopes of regaining control of the Senate. What is this writing? I mean... I need 3,200 gifts before midnight to pull off the biggest Democratic wins in history before the clock runs out. Can I count on your $15 before midnight to help me in this make or break moment? Stella, I need you to understand. I need you to make a choice in the next 4 hours.
Pro-choice.
Yeah.
My body, my vote. Either you can let Republicans use every cent they've got to smear Democrats with attack ads, wear down our lead, and lie their way back into power. That's one option. Or you can rush an emergency $15 gift before midnight, close our budget gap, and keep Mitch McConnell out of power for good. but I need your help right now to raise 3,200 gifts before midnight so we can launch into action, rush resources to the most critical races. God, this is fucking long, and they just say the same stuff over and over. And hand McConnell the most devastating defeat he's ever seen. God, I've never read any of these emails this closely. They're so repetitive. So repetitive. They must have a list of like the words that need to be in the email, like clinch, rush, biggest.
Which ones need to be capitalized?
Yeah. Devastating. I mean, woof.
Power words.
Yeah.
My favorite part of that one that you got is at the end of that, there's like the PAC information, and it says Nancy Pelosi's groundbreaking new initiative, and then in quotes, elect Democrats, is tirelessly committed to electing a powerful slate of progressive champions up and down the ballot. So this like program that they're doing is simply called Elect Democrats. This groundbreaking new initiative. Try to win some elections.
Yeah, why haven't they tried that? God.
And of course, this like handing Mitch McConnell this defeat, it doesn't come at like him actually losing his seat. It's these other seats in Wisconsin and Florida and whatever. Mitch McConnell himself will never lose. And in fact, he's like in the minority party right now and still winning. Like everything he wants is being enacted. So
Mitch McConnell stays winning.
That's right.
Evan, do you have any more?
Well, let's see. I have some Rob Stan for state auditor. But they're not abortion.
Yum.
They're not abortion centric.
Feed me that pizza and milk, baby. Goes down so smooth.
All right, I'm about to give you 5 reasons why I hope you'll chip in $5 towards our big $25,000 goal before tomorrow night's deadline, Evan. Ask your father-in-law. $25,000, that's nothing.
Papa, can I have a check, please?
Iowa taxpayers need a watchdog, not a lapdog. A state auditor can't be afraid to sniff out and call out fraud and wasteful spending, which already disqualifies Todd Halber. A state auditor must put the job over party. This should be number 1 for him. I call out wrongdoing no matter the party of the perpetrator. Democrat, Republican, Independent, and everything in between. What about outside? Everything on the outside. I've got the experience since my days as an assistant attorney general. I've always put the well-being and trust of the taxpayers first. He'll find the bucks. In my first term as state auditor, the office has identified more waste, fraud, and abuse than any other single term from any other state auditor. This one's pretty boring, actually. He's also laying the groundwork for more Dems to win in Iowa. It's not the one with... I gotta find the one with him and his dog.
Yeah, I was hoping the dog metaphor with this one would continue a little bit more.
Our governor wants corruption. A pure lapdog, not a watchdog. Wow.
A pure lapdog. So probably one with a lot of congenital conditions.
Yeah, an inbred kind of dog.
We don't need an auditor hobbled by congenital hip dysplasia. We need a watchdog.
Let's shake things up a little bit and start with the bad news. While I know our campaign has what it takes to defeat my own opponent, Todd Halber, he will be backed by some powerful people who would much rather have a pliable lapdog in office than a vigilant watchdog. They could decide to swamp me later in this race. Oh my god. He really does. Like every one of these has a dog metaphor in it. It's pretty impressive. Anyway, fuck him.
It did make me perk up.
Yeah, that's all for you, Stella. Do you want me to add you? Do you want me to sign you up?
Thank you, please. No.
I don't know how I ended up getting his. I mean, like I said, I'm sure I got sold from someone else's list, but
well, maybe if you stop emailing them, telling them to put you on Rachel Maddow's viewer list.
Yeah, I know. It was my fault for trying to make sure that I was counted as a viewer.
As a mad dog. Yeah. This other email, this one came out, I think, before the Roe decision. I know a lot of liberals are really closely watching the January 6th hearings, and
Yeah. Well, in fact, all the Supreme Court decisions were actually intended as a distraction from the January 6th hearings,
That's right.
which is, of course, the
Yes.
most important thing going on right now.
So this message comes from is it Fontes?
Yeah, I
For
don't know.
Secretary
This is
of
an
State?
Arizona person. I don't know how the hell you got on this list.
Yeah.
Stella, after watching last night's January 6th public hearings, I have only one question to ask. If these insurrectionist Republicans did nothing wrong, why were they asking for pardons? And then embedded in this email this is what made me laugh so hard. There's a tweet from Adrian Fontes where he's retweeting this article that says Scott Perry contacted the White House in the weeks after January 6th to seek a presidential pardon. And Adrian Fontes' commentary is, but if they did nothing wrong, question mark, why do they need a pardon? And this hardline stance, I say we kick them all out of office, and the Constitution supports it. The 14th Amendment clearly outlines that no public official who participates in insurrection or rebellion against our nation shall hold public office. Together we have the opportunity to hold insurrectionist Mark Fincham accountable for his role in undermining the 2020 election. It's our duty to honor the Constitution and keep Fincham far from Arizona's top election office. Stella, I dedicated my life to protecting our democracy when I became a U.S. Marine, and I hold that oath today in my campaign for Arizona Secretary of State. Will you chip in $5 right now to help defeat insurrectionist Mark Fincham and keep him away from our elections?
Wow. Yeah, he's checking some boxes there.
I'm pretty sure this is not how the Constitution is supposed to work either. I'm pretty sure it's the the House of Representatives. I think they're the ones who enforce that. I don't think that if someone is doing impeachable things, I don't think the right course of action is to just vote against them.
Ask
I think
them
it's
to vote for their own impeachment.
Yeah.
What can
That's not how it's supposed to work. I know about the Constitution.
What can a state secretary of state do? Too, really.
Yeah.
Keep the voter rolls fresh. That's about it.
All right. Well, that's all of our emails.
I have one last throwback that you may or may not want to delete. It's called "Can You Believe?" and it's from Jonathan Van Ness, who I think is fellow,
Queer Eye?
former Des Moines resident Ben Mora's favorite person on any Queer Eye television show.
Yeah.
Anyway, it says, "Hey Evan, you may be wondering what's that guy with the gorge hair from Queer Eye doing emailing me? Honestly, it's a fair question, but I wanted to talk to you about something so important, the 2018 midterms. It's coming up faster than you think, and we all need to make sure we're doing everything we can to help elect Democrats in Iowa this year. I've been working closely with Amber Gutterson for Iowa Senate. She's a fierce queen who is fighting for things that are so important to me, like access to quality education, health care for all, and women's equality. And Amber's just one of many amazing candidates we have this year, so that's why I'm asking, can you make a donation to help progressive candidates like Amber win this year? Evan, I'm all about self-care. I want people to be their best selves by emphasizing what's already great about them. Well, what's already great about Iowa is that you have the right candidates to create a blue wave this year. So now I want Iowa to be its best self, and only you can help. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Wow, that's an incredible
That was
find.
gold, Evan.
I needed that.
I had no idea that Jonathan Van Ness campaigned for Amber. That's great.
Fierce queen.
Yeah, that's been my experience.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about this terrible opinion piece that was in the Des Moines Register briefly, since we're talking about abortion? I don't know if you read this or not.
I don't know if I'm aware of it.
So, again, the Supreme Court decision came out on June 24th, and this was in the Des Moines Register that same day. This is an opinion piece by Maggie DeWitt, who is the executive director of Pulse Life Advocates, which was formerly known as Iowans for Life. So their website is pulseforlife.org, and the address listed on their website is the same address as Unity Lutheran Church in Des Moines. So Des Moines listeners, be aware, the Unity Lutheran Church hosts Pulse for Life, a group whose executive director, Maggie DeWitt, wrote this piece that I'm about to read for you. All right, headline. Iowa needs to approve the Protect Life Amendment and pass legislation to eliminate abortion. Again, this is Maggie DeWitt of Pulse Life Advocates, hosted by the Unity Lutheran Church in Des Moines. She writes, "Today is the day we ended the federal abortion law and Roe v. Wade was finally and completely overturned. After nearly 50 years, we are righting an egregious wrong, a wrong to the magnitude of slavery and the Holocaust. The scourge of abortion has plagued our country for half a century, and in its wake, the death of 65 million of our pre-born brothers and sisters. No more. We are righting the wrong. We are correcting the ship, and we are marching full steam ahead. Iowans for Life, now Pulse Life Advocates, has been working for 50 years in Iowa to see this day come true. The longest-standing statewide pro-life organization in Iowa has now seen the biggest victory ever. I thank God for the founders of this organization and the years of relentless battle to get us to where we are today. We will continue to work, but this ruling has given us the hope and encouragement and renewed motivation to fight harder and work more. Tomorrow the work begins in a post-Roe society. Abortion law will return to the individual states, and here in Iowa, we will continue to educate on the need for our Protect Life Amendment and pass legislation to eliminate abortion." So, this was in the opinion section of the Des Moines Register the day that Roe was overturned. I guess the editorial board at the Des Moines Register thought this was worthy of print, saying that 50 years of abortion being kind of allowed under Roe v. Wade is equivalent to slavery and the Holocaust. Gracing the pages of our state's paper of record.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Oh, shit, we lost Evan. All right, well, hopefully Evan will come back. But since this opinion piece from Maggie DeWitt is talking about the Protect Life Amendment in Iowa, do you know what the current status of that is? I know I saw something about how there was a court injunction on that, and Reynolds is trying to get them to overturn that.
Yeah, I think Natalie she would know the most about it. My understanding was they weren't going to, I think Kim Reynolds, right when the Roe decision came out overturning Roe v. Wade, she said something like, it's not on her legislative agenda to revisit abortion in this current legislative session, but she is vehemently anti-choice. She really, really, I think she feels extremely passionately and exactly the way this editorialist does about abortion rights. And so I think as soon as she possibly can, this is going to be front and center for her. I feel like not only does she believe it really deeply, as a person, that she needs to prevent abortion from happening, but I think she also campaigned on that really hard. Yeah. It's just something that she's never faltered on. And so I wouldn't be surprised. It's just so ridiculous that the court decision was the right to an abortion is enshrined in Iowa's Constitution. It is a right that, let me find the exact language they used, because it was all about how, the Iowa Constitution basically protects bodily autonomy and da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And now they're basically JK.
Yeah. But it's similar to Roe in its a constitutional foundation in that it's a right to privacy thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar to that. But it's just so ridiculous. The language that they used there was so, I don't know, lofty and all about how like this is something that is an inalienable right, and now it's like, oh, just kidding, we actually don't mean that.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure they'll overturn it.
They pretend like Supreme Court rulings are like, I don't know, enlightened and above the sort of partisan back and forth. But obviously, I mean, we know they're not, but it's just interesting how that's being like even the rhetoric of that is kind of falling apart. Like they're not even really pretending anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sure as soon as it's possible, they'll overturn that decision. And
yeah. Well, the Reynolds saying that it's not on her like immediate legislative agenda is almost worrying to me. Like they don't feel a sense of urgency enough to like call a special session. It's just like, yeah, obviously there's a foregone conclusion and we'll get to it when we get to it. They know they're going to get their way.
We're in no rush, yeah.
Yeah, don't need to.
We're going to take our time and make it as draconian as possible. And like with the trigger laws in Missouri, right? Like people are probably already coming from Missouri to Iowa to get abortion care. Mm-hmm. And I think that's definitely going to be the next focus of the anti-choice movement is preventing people from leaving states or making it really difficult for them to go access abortion care in a state where it's still like semi-legal. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sure we're going to be one of the states with the most restrictive abortion laws if Kim Reynolds has her way, which I'm sure she will. Yeah.
It's interesting to compare that to like the fundraising emails we were reading where it's like everything hinges on Democrats retaking the majority, but like that's not going to happen. And you can tell from like the Republican response that they have there's no delusion. Like they know that they're going to stay in power and gain power in the next election. Mm-hmm. I guess I don't know what I expect from Democrats, but I don't know. They're just kind of lying. Like, no, is anyone really convinced that like they could possibly flip any seats this year?
I wonder too if this is just like, I mean, I know they're evil, but that doesn't mean they're dumb. Like they're seeing the writing on the wall, and I'm sure they made tons of money when Trump was in power. Honestly, yeah. Like he was doing something freaky every day, and it was a great way for them to get money because people were so outraged, so scared. And I'm sure like they don't mind being, the underdog party. And I just feel like they're never going to get in power ever again after this election. This is it. It's going to be all Republicans. So this is just kind of a big final fundraising push before like how much money can we get out of these people right now? And then we'll never be in power again.
I mean, and
then we can fundraise off that
Supreme Court case about states deciding their own election results gets sent through, then yeah, it's probably over. I think the time is probably here for disobedience and not for rule following at this point. Yeah. But they can't endorse any of that.
Your money.
Yeah.
Do not give them your money right now or ever.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, you say they can't endorse that, but like, really? Is there ever a point where they could?
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I think
probably not, I guess.
I don't know.
No, remember, I mean, Biden was saying these protests, like, they must be kept peaceful.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, fucking snipers on the Supreme Court aiming their rifles at protesters' heads. Like,
you better remain peaceful then.
Yeah.
If you break the peace, you might. Well, since you brought up protests and peaceful shit, I guess we can talk briefly about that truck thing in Cedar Rapids. There have been a couple of marches demonstrating in support of reproductive rights in Cedar Rapids, our hometown.
Woo! And
the first big one was on the night of the Roe overturning thing. And a guy driving a truck with what do they call license plates when you put your own
vanity plates?
Vanity plates.
Yeah, vanity plates.
A truck with fucking vanity plates ran some people over, which seems like bad OPSEC if you are the type to violently attack protesters.
The type who violently attack protesters don't have to worry about OPSEC because they don't generally get punished. So,
yeah. In this case,
yeah. My understanding is he left a line of cars that were blocked by the protests. The protest was winding down. Protesters were leaving. And so he broke out of line so that he could run a red light too and then hit at least 2 protesters.
Who were in a crosswalk.
Yes.
Crossing the street like 100% legally, like by the letter of street crossing rules.
Yeah.
This is the way that Liz Lenz was recalling what she witnessed publicly, and I also have talked to people privately about what they witnessed. So, yeah, I believe the story as it has been reported. The guy didn't want to wait in line, was so angry that people were protesting in favor of abortion, and he thought he would take out a few of those
super pro-life
himself.
Super on brand. Yeah. And
yeah.
I think according to Liz, there was a woman in the truck like screaming, like begging him not to kill people with like commit vehicular homicide. Yeah.
Yeah, the impression that onlookers got was that this man was being yelled at by his wife not to run people over.
Yeah.
So the vanity plates were it's the word raptor, like a dinosaur raptor, but put a W at the beginning. So WRAPTOR. And of course, when you run people over with your truck with vanity plates, you are very easy to identify by anyone who knows how to look up license plate numbers.
Yep.
This truck is registered to a company called Pipe Pro Incorporated. So Pipe Pro, it's probably plumbing, right? I don't know. Some sort of contractor.
My favorite theory too is so Pipe Pro got a big PPP loan.
Yeah.
And this huge, big, like new truck was like, wouldn't it be just so funny? Like, I'm sure, like, it was purchased with this PPP loan and then it used to like kill people. Jesus.
Yeah. Pipe Pro Incorporated is owned by David Huston. I don't think he has been like definitively identified as the man who was driving the truck at the time. But David Huston owns Pipe Pro Incorporated, where the truck is registered. And as Stella just mentioned, people found Pipe Pro Incorporated on whatever that website is where you can look up who got a PPP loan. They got a loan totaling $1,179,800. They claim every single dollar of that went towards payroll. And the whole thing was forgiven.
Yeah.
Including the roughly $7,000 of interest. Whole thing was written off.
Yep. That's like 90%. Like there's so much fraud that happened with the PPP stuff, and I don't think that they really spent any resources investigating any of it. Not that we're alleging that they committed fraud with this PPP loan.
But someone who has no problem with like killing people with his car, like, do you think he's going to be super scrupulous when it comes from taking money?
I'm just saying for our legal liability purposes, we're not alleging anything.
I would never besmirch a local small business owner like that.
Yeah.
Just like on Wendy Williams' show, the allegedly sign is flashing right now. Thankfully, a lot of people have found Pipe Pro on Yelp and Google and given them some fantastic reviews and fucked up their star ratings, which we love to see.
People might think they're pipe amateurs.
Yeah.
I attended the following march, which was just a couple days ago, July 1st in Cedar Rapids, and I'm happy to report no one was hit by a vehicle. There was a truck following us.
Oh.
Oh my God. You're kidding.
Yeah, no, there
Just, like,
was a truck
creeping?
following us and recording.
Oh my god. That's fucking scary. Would you remind our listeners what the Coralville police said when you tried to report your own experience getting hit by a car during a protest in the summer of 2020?
Yeah, I think I talked about the whole story on an episode with Evan and our friend DeRoja. I don't know what episode number that is.
34.
So there's a video of me being hit by a very slowly moving car. There was an article about that in the Press Citizen, if I remember right, and they, I guess, asked for comment from the Coralville Police Department, and their statement was, well, no one reported this, so what can we do? So just to see what would happen,
Yeah.
I called the Coralville Police Department and said, hey, I was in that video getting hit by a car.
And you got really far.
Yeah.
They took it really seriously.
I talked to some cop. I can't remember his name right now, but yeah, paraphrasing, he basically said, well, I see 2 crimes being committed in that video.
So if we investigate the one, we have to investigate the other. Are you prepared for that? Like, basically threatening
Oh,
you.
man.
Of course, the law has shifted further in favor of the drivers in situations like that. So don't expect anything to ever happen to anyone who's hitting protesters with their cars.
There was another
Iowa.
incident
Or
in Cedar
anywhere,
Rapids,
probably.
too, wasn't there? There was like one where people got hurt, I thought. Or maybe I'm...
Well, somebody ended up in the hospital from the truck in Cedar Rapids, but I don't
really?
think it's super serious.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I think their foot got run over, and we have now
we've
lost
lost
Stella.
Stella.
This has been.
Yeah.
Maybe we should conclude the episode before anything worse happens to us.
Yeah, I guess we're cursed. I guess it's bad karma from trashing all those Democratic politicians who are just trying to do everything they possibly can to protect abortion rights. Maybe
They're
we
trying
should
their
feel
best.
like bad. Maybe
Yeah.
it's because I invoked the name of our podcast's greatest enemy, and we're paying the price now.
Yeah. Well, before we go, I just want to let listeners know that my band Wombat will be playing at the Public Space One Close House. That's the mansion on Gilbert Street on July 25th. We will be in Des Moines playing at XBK, which is a very cool venue. I'm shocked that we booked it.
Yeah, that's awesome,
we'll be
dude.
there on July 26th. And we're also going to try to play in Chicago on July 28th, if anyone happens to be listening from Chicago. We're having trouble finding a venue also, so if you happen to own some kind of warehouse or something in Chicago and you would like us to make noise in there, let me know.
I would take him up on that.
We're just concluding the episode before anything worse happens to us.
What is this, Impedicast?
Impedicast, is that what you call it? Impedecast.
Oh, is that what? I never listened to it. So I always read
That's
it.
a classic. That's from the podcast archives.
Yeah, pre-Caucus days.
Justin's pre-Rock Hard Caucus podcasts.
Yeah.
True Justin heads will know.
It was a good one. It was funny. I enjoyed it. Actually, I was slightly in one of the episodes.
Oh, nice.
We went to Adventureland. And
That was the first one, yeah.
yeah.
The Highs were in that, and Tony was in that too.
Tony
So
was
lots
in
of,
that. Yeah.
Lots of our crew, yeah.
Yep. Should we should shout out the Iowa Abortion Access Fund and the Iowa Janes Collective
Yes.
as well. Definitely
Check them out.
give them money before you give them to Democrats.
Yeah, do not give a single dollar to the Democratic Party. Give it to your local abortion access fund. Natalie,
Mhm.
get better soon.
There's also a 40 days of abortion rights activism thing going on that I think was initially launched by the Iowa City DSA's Reproductive Rights Working Group. I will post a link to that in this episode description so you can keep up on it.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I implore you, visit our website, rockhardcock.us. If you are in a local band, you can send us music that I can put at the end of this episode and shout you out and give you free advertising.
Yeah, and don't forget to chip $15 at our Patreon so that we can really show Mitch McConnell who is his boss.
Yeah, we're actually Mitch
Devastating
McConnell's
defeat.
boss. We're working on firing, but we have to go through HR, and they're difficult to work with. So
Did you know senators have a union?